As human beings, it's not only our individual, but also our collective responsibility to grow up and help each other out as well, to grow up and mature and develop and keep each other accountable. Now, imagine that there would be a man who is not in his, let's say, healthy masculinity. And most of his life, what he has done, he has lived pretty much like degraded lifestyle as a man. He has mostly relied on others, and he hasn't fully tapped into his own potential. And what he does is he would just mostly ask for favors, ask other people to buy him stuff, play that he's weak, he's incapable, poor him, he's a victim, that kind of stuff, like playing into this disempowering narrative. And from time to time, he would find someone who would be sold on this and would try to be a good person and support him. Now, what happens is he gets confirmation, he gets trained that if he keeps doing this, he will still be rewarded. So it's okay for him to do it, and there is no like serious consequence, and he can get away with this. Like for him as a disempowered man, there is no incentive, there is no motivation to break out from this, to strive for something more, because this is enough for him. Because there will always be someone who will help him recreate this same old low level functioning. So what this example teaches us is all about boundaries. Not only we train others how to treat ourselves by having certain boundaries or not having boundaries at all, we also, by setting boundaries, we also give opportunity for other people to break out of their own limiting and disempowering patterns and instead overcome them and become a more powerful version of themselves. By setting boundaries, we're saying to someone who is in their disempowered state, as I see you as more powerful than that. I'm not buying into this. So no, not gonna play the same game as you are. And yeah, so it's very important. Now imagine if one person setting boundaries with someone who is in their victim mode, that person who is in the victim mode, they might say, okay, like, I'm gonna look for someone else who could still help me stay in my victim. And sometimes they find someone. So that gives them this service, because they can always look out to find someone else who will understand their victim mode. So in that regard, you could say, well, someone who set boundaries with him, I guess it didn't like work out, because he found out someone else who would still buy into his old disempowering narrative. That's not the case, because it is important for us on first individual level to embody these more powerful versions of ourselves who respect themselves and who respect others. And the more individuals will do it like this, it will create even bigger ripple effect in collective conscious. And as a reflection, it will create more that type of energy where different type of state of being won't be anymore available. It won't be held. The old way of being and old way of paradigms, they just won't be available anymore. So if we as human collective want to live in future, or start living from the now in a more healthy, more matured society, then what is required of us is to not only step up as individuals, but also keep accountable each other as well, from a place of love, not judgment, but seeing through individuals' disempowering narratives and see them for who they really are. And set boundaries as a reminder, like, no, brah or gal, like, I see you for who you truly are. You're way more capable and stronger than now you're trying to sell yourself short to yourself and others. And I'm not buying that. So I know you can do more. And that's an act of love.